was so nice. Remember the pistol round too, when 2G was starting off on the defensive side. They basically
we got M80 on defense,
M80
and we got 2G on attack.
Through the smoke and just fight back to contest.
Give me a countdown.
Maybe this time
20,
is a point here where 2G
18,
wants to start
17,
on the
very
attack,
behind.
so you
16,
don't go into those same mind games as
14,
before. 2G now
13,
has a chance to
12,
take the attack.
Okay, now
Side, and just to make sure that they could smother M80 with Silence being the spearhead at the front here to get these openings, as all of 2G are starting the pistol round on their attack side, and M80
all right.
has 4 to
we're 1-1 for pistols.
Not sure if the observer is throwing some subliminal messaging, but Net is the one player who's trying to
ILO with the Omen Flash with 3 people. Oh, we committed 4 people. This reminds me of old M80 pistols, man. They were the inventors of, like, I'm not saying the inventors of 4-1, but they at least brought it to this map very heavy.
Already stacked up in that spot.
Oh no, not the silence again.
Bot coming back.
Why does this always happen? It gets so quiet. At least we got game sound. Is he observers? Honestly, not sure.
Advanced may have disconnected from our call here, so
I'm back now. Yeah, somehow everything froze. Okay. Gotta love that. Gotta love that.
Well, I promise you this, friends, that the breakdown was perfect, as it often is. So
thank you.
We'll be back into this here in a moment. We'll let Vans have a spark note moment here as soon as this fades away, as Luis will be in a pretty impossible situation, 1v4, but has been able to salvage at least something out of this round with the spike plant. Maybe a chance to play off of his own.
Yeah, it's hard with the plant here now as well. What an absolute shot that is. What the hell was that?
The snake bite may have made things a bit of a mess. Nismo has to step off as soon as he gets to halfway, and M80 will take the pistol.
Yeah, and you see that backing off is like, wait, I'm not getting hit by this. So, and they're actually just trying to decide who they want to give the ult points to as soon as possible, because now Xander gets 2 kills, would be able to get some sort of defuse, but it's Nismo that's going to pick it up after all, because yesterday as well against All Knights,
have it bounce.
Nismo was able to get 3 null command right into the first half.
It's interesting, Sisel. Maybe
on that map,
if you had it bounced to like the same button as well,
so much value here
when
on
you
how
get
they
the
wanted
kill,
to
it
take the attack side
insta
on their A side takes. So this could be a potential good idea here for Nismo to activate these.
I don't think it would be anything like a dash, but
yeah, and that's the big key, right? We kind of
might
talked about this a little bit on Sunset.
I wouldn't say it's reliable, but it could be okay. Xenix999 with the 10 months. Thank you for the
whole idea is
thank you for that, man. Appreciate the tier 1.
Well,
that's a great night.
Through it, find success, and now all of a sudden M80 are looking to still keep the aggressive pedal down.
Yeah, back-to-back aggro rounds on A.
To execute, so it's looking for first contact here.
Vice isn't playable. Nah, not here.
For hopefully does it
only in China.
Blood, and then you make this retake if you have to do it that much easier because you've got the numbers.
Yeah, just a simple thing there that you have to bring into your games here, chat. Just make sure that somebody's going to break that dart. That was big there for Quality to be able to get the opener.
And Vance's out here giving people some rank tips.
Yeah, and that's another thing to keep your eye on as well. You know, we kind of talked about this when we were casting.
How to be a better teammate, shoot the dart.
Silence getting over towards the top side of
okay, this was convincing. We got a little bit of damage done here. That's it. That's not going to be an armory buy. Money's going to be real good.
We're putting together an aggressive front line as soon as the barriers drop.
Did anyone play Vice in China? Yes. So the team that actually won the whole thing, they played on Ascent, they lost 0-3.
Again, this is early, friends. It's just a pistol and an anti-eco round.
They lost it 3 times. So that's a 0% win rate.
And true to the rest of this half, that would be a brilliant adjustment in my mind for M80 dealing with a thing that really thwarted them when they played 2G a couple days ago.
100%. You could definitely see in my tone of
buff coming in soon.
That M80 is able to
I don't know how it's doing in
ranked to a 2-0 point.
At least the win rate hasn't been great, but again, it's only one team.
Excited about yet because 2G could definitely turn
also,
it
I think it will look a lot better once the buffed Astra comes into play.
M80 are not going for that full aggressive focus back.
Did I look at it? Yeah, they had some okay stuff. They had like 3 things that were nice that I would use.
It's a knife just to make sure that
the rest of it wasn't great.
potentially unbreakable.
No one can be one-shot by the Outlaw.
And they only spot Koala Noob.
It's one of those things of just do your homework before you jump into the fray. And that is an owl drone on one side and knife on the other. So now you have the opportunity to still possibly use
the chat.
Like
wait, did you post? Do you know what, Keeper? You made me miss all of this. That's your fault.
It's an even trade, and then the numbers for 2G.
This is great trades for 2G. M80 has no smokes to play the retake. Icebox is pretty hard.
The knife actually hit Koala. That should have been something that they
surprised they're playing
10 HP.
Stay tucked in towards the pipes. It's hard for
Dude, the shock dart could be.
Wait, I'm looking wrong. M80 to take this site back.
We got knife, we got flash. Dude, they used everything on this.
Really?
This guy's playing great. This is the best I've seen him play.
So another moment where 2G are allowed to hold
Big
an
step
angle,
up.
and they make good
I think
use of it.
they
We saw
decided
a
to
couple
play
times
side because the low guy,
and this time it's
10
Zap
HP.
to get us kicked off to stop the bonus of M80.
Yeah, you can see how that one volley
What are they
that
up
missed,
against?
everybody was still focused
Killjoy.
on fighting towards the front, 'cause, like, nobody's
Probably
gonna
'cause of
swing on
Wingman
the back of
also.
dice. So that one piece
Yeah,
of utility that was
that's
missed
true.
here from M80 became a huge round for Zap, who continues to be
Okay, now we get
ultra
into
vocal in
the
these
now we get into the
multi-rounds
good
that he's
rounds.
getting here, so far in
Everyone,
the
we've got
series,
4 people
'cause
that can't
he
buy
hasn't
for
been active
M80
in
next
all
round,
of
so
the
we get the
rounds because
off
all of
out.
these kills are stolen by
And I mean,
Luis
this is one of the
or by
strong things
Silence,
with
but when
Omen.
he
This one
needs
way
to step
is
up, man,
really
he's
good.
getting multi-kills
Knife
after
goes
multi-kills
out,
in this series so
stops
far.
the
This is
drone.
something that we'd seen from
Huge.
M80 a lot on their Icebox in their region of North
Surprised
America. during Challengers.
Xander
You
backed off
double
because
stack
the
with
drone
Xander
didn't saw him.
playing off of Koala Noob, opposite hand. You had the early knife as well. So you're able to at least communicate that there were a couple of members playing over towards A.
Oh, that's a
here we
lot
go.
of
Here's a
damage.
different look for 2G. Little pop flash through the poison cloud. Nisbo's still decent for one. Koala Noob misses his opener, but the trade from Xander is decent.
Ooh, little pop
Bubble
over the
flash
top,
comes
that's
through.
nice.
That's just to create
That
space.
splash is so good.
And
This
Spikes
guy's
will
in
be
trouble.
left here kind of hoping he finds timing because he's stuck with the spike at the moment.
Has to come down to this fight towards
Prius.
A main. If Prize can open things up, and I love at
Prius
least
is
that
off the
M80's
one guy.
closing that gap. Because
Honestly, he
Spike is
thought that
stuck
was
there.
gonna
He
swing
wanted
him.
to at least activate on that side. Prize even loses his fight towards the A side, and all these duels back in favor of
Yeah, that was
M80.
nice. That was a really good
little
flash
play
on this
towards
one.
the end for BCG for the
ECJ
last kill, but
getting his ult
overall,
online as well, and they
it
go
almost
against the
looked like
eco.
from
2 people
setup
could get
that
kind
it
of
was a
hero
very
guns.
weak side towards A. You saw that net was being set up all the way towards
Let's
the
hope
back.
we don't fall
Watch
apart
into the
after
two
another
players
3-1 lead.
are lurking up.
I mean, this
The
one
Torrent's
would be
gonna
hard to
guarantee
lose.
if they're actually committed past that. There's an alarm bot watching middle, so for
2 hero
for
guns,
M80,
everyone's
actually
gonna
they
have
had
light
two
armor.
spots for a weak side.
Could easily get an outlaw.
Where Nismo got killed.
Yeah, it's
and
Icebox,
also
though.
where they
Why
were
say
weak side
that?
on A,
You
Dude,
know.
this
they
is a
wanted
hard
play
round
the
to
Thrash
lose.
retake, so
Because it
was
is a
still
hard
great
round to
start from
lose.
M80 to, or sorry,
treat
for
this right, you
2G
get
to
the
come
outlaw
through
out.
that smoke and get that first blood
Yeah,
on
They're gonna rush
Nismo, but you saw the other two.
The Icebox special. When you don't know what to
trying
do,
it.
rush A.
Faking, you're scared of
2G
3
cannot take advantage
classics.
of.
That's
No,
crazy.
exactly the case, and I do have to agree with you. I think 2G trying to play through tube instead of through either B or A main in the base of that Thrash is actually pretty, I think, key
Uh-oh.
towards being able to get yourself a potentially deep post plant. This time, though, knives are exchanged early.
Yeah, I love the movement that people are doing here at the moment. It's so nice.
But Zap is there with the trade with the Guardian. Hunter's Fury now they're ready for
That
Zap.
great KO nade, man. It's on his head.
Right in front of the spike
BCJ's
site.
on an island.
About to fade
Yeah, this
away.
guy's a little
BCJ left
bit-
with just wingman in the Thrash. He gets caught. Now, obviously,
Guys
Bill
just
didn't use
spinning
it, but
around.
as
It does not look
silence will
comfortable.
drop, now the round becomes a little bit more plausible for M80 to put
bullets.
together, especially with the spike on the
Eye
ground.
lower.
Long range angles also coming through decently, but Zap a little more
Bro,
magic
imagine
for
Zap
ya.
wins this. He's
Swaps
playing
over after
so
the double
good.
From the Guardian, now has the Vandal. He's collected
Oh,
the
oh
spike. He
boy.
sees that up top, and Zap
Oh
will
boy,
pull
well,
off
I'm
the
gonna get blamed for that one. He's played it so well though.
Not like that.
Yeah, and they lose to 3 classics and 2 hero rifles.
By the desk as an IGL, as the one making the calls, but this time also fragging for
I told
the
you.
team.
I knew what they were doing.
And they
That's not
mentioned
my
it during
fault.
the
They didn't get an
group stages.
outlaw
We've
out.
seen
Don't
it
blame
during
me
the
for
group
this.
stages. He's been so loud and
When in
vocal
doubt, just
until
rush A.
2G
That's
started losing
Icebox.
here this series where they almost didn't make it through the group stages. It had to come down to All Knights beating TSM for them to get
This
second
is on
breath
me.
into the
Dude, they
playoffs.
didn't buy
And
an
now he
outlaw.
has
What do you guys want
the
from me?
confidence to step up once again.
We've seen how easy it is.
And be as loud as he could be because he is making this happen for 2G.
Oh boy. How does that quote go? Special teams, special plays, special players. And that may be the difference maker today.
They're getting a lot of
Nismo,
success from their
first
aggro
blood,
A. This
good.
guy's on the
Backs off
island though,
Koala Noob.
and
Is gonna
we are
be
not going to
left
jump
to
check him.
stay deep.
Chat, how many did he
Ignited
get?
isn't a good
All
start.
of them.
Koala
3.
Noob is gonna line up a
Right.
couple. Okay, Paranoid to follow. They know Zap is nearby, and surely he doesn't pull this one off.
He gets
Although
3
I won't
costs if
go
you nailed it.
on
Well done.
picture considering what he's done so far today.
Definitely typed it on
And
time.
as an IGL, you have the game sense, right? So there's a possibility.
Dude, the
here
aggro
that
A is
you
working
could
well though.
have
He's
and-
getting the
and
fourth too.
contest some sort of opening.
No,
Because
he's
look
not.
at him walk back towards middle. There is actually 2 players watching it, but very passively for net. First contact, it is going to be Xander. And then you can actually swing right away after.
would really
be
nice if this was clean. That's one.
And that's how you isolate
That's not
fights.
too bad as
Sticky,
well.
why
Finally,
Pick
here
up
Xander
again.
closes in.
Yeah, not bad at all.
You can't blame me for everything.
Don't cower. After the play comes
stay
through,
FB with the
talked
Prime.
about some of
Thank you for
things
the whole
that
year,
they may
mate.
be trying
Thank
to
you for
do
doing
here
that.
defensively compared to the last time they played 2G.
What have you missed? Why is 2G incredible? They've got some sick players,
We've got
Weber.
all this utility. Pop open a wall, throw all your flashes, dive on in. That did not work particularly well versus 2Game because they were playing so far aggressive that that utility was just being counteracted by the dynamic positions they were holding. So this time around, they're trying to stay aggressive. Contest them in the first 30 seconds. At worst, you're dealing with what, like 3v3 situations if they do end up allowing a plant to come through? That's still fine because you hold the advantage in terms of retake utility. So I love the mentality shift here from M80. Let's see how long 2Games still get spoiled by this.
Yeah. And I'm still okay with 2G continuing to contest towards the A side to kick things off because M80 are being very proactive of where they're trying to place Qualinoob with the op at the very beginning. So sometimes it's opting towards B main, sometimes towards A main. So they just want to make sure, especially when you're adding that pressure
M80
back
stop
towards
going
the wall,
aggro after
back
this
towards the
timeout
front side of the A
is
site. You force the Viper
question.
wall to come up. You gain some space. You can control the orb. And maybe
I think they're gonna
you're seeing
fake
a little bit of
going aggro.
lack of. How can I say it? M80 pushing a little bit
Stay,
too
thank
much,
you for sending that,
trying
mate.
to get punished out of that, right?
Good to
So,
see you.
Overheating
lack
touch.
of discipline is what I'm trying to look
FML
for.
well
So
with
that
the
might work in
gifted
that
sub
sense.
as well.
But
Look
with
at
this
that. Look
timeout
what
now,
kind
with
words
not
get you.
not contesting towards the B side,
Gifted.
maybe now with the Aldrin,
FML,
you
thank you for
can
doing
start
that, bro.
figuring out here how they're
I'll be right
holding
back.
the
1
defaults now
second.
for the defensive
bro.
side for M80.
Yeah, the other thing, though, I think for 2Game that you have to keep in mind is, hey, you may have to be facing up against this operator still, which is something that makes
100%.
that B-long play very
EMP
difficult
also,
to
thank
deal
you so much for
with.
the
Now,
5
it won't
months.
be in
Appreciate the
play
prime
here.
usage.
The finances are not healthy enough for
We
it.
had a little one before
But it's
this
going to be a save
map,
regardless for 2G.
Like maybe
Pistol
like a
upgrades,
5
Hero
minute delay.
Vandal plus the knives. You also have Viper's Pit,
Other
no
than
command,
that,
Hunter's Fury.
not
There's a
bad.
lot of potency still, just based off the ultimates that they
Okay,
can
so after
use.
the timeout, they buy the
Pending that
hero
do find a
gun.
way to get
This
the plant
is
down.
enough
And now this
for
is
an op next round
important
if they want it. We
timeout
got
to call
knives, we
because
got
you may
hero
start
gun.
investing these ults around
And
the
instead
hero
of the
rifle,
3
around
classics
the
they
blade
lost to
storm here.
earlier,
And
we
that early
got...
Aldrone, and now
What
the
the
Oh my God,
hell
Koala
is
Noob.
going on?
Good for the first.
Wallace.
Follow Paranoia, though. Decent Qualinoob.
He
Yeah, that would
just
be enough.
sent
The
it.
He just,
blender.
yeah,
And
making it look like he's in
nowhere to
Paper
go
X
for
or something,
2G.
man. He's
So
just running
they
at him.
tried to get aggressive down B, but that's the problem. I think
Wow.
in particular when you try
They're
to
showing
fight
confidence.
up
I mean, so
against this
literally,
M80 squad
like
that's
we've seen them
so
go
keen at
aggro
playing those
over
long
towards
angles
A,
from
and
yellow
on this
through
one just
green.
aggro over
You're
towards
gonna
B.
have
This
to
was more of a
hopefully
trap
hit
play,
shots
but
and M80 just
it
catch
wasn't
by
like a crazy
surprise.
trap play. He's
Yeah.
straight up
And
just
especially
Omen
when
flash and run
you're
it.
missing
And
some utility being
crazy.
used on the EA side. The call out from Xander on net on the
Oh,
defensive
Koala
side.
is nuts.
At
Yeah,
least
this
on
was
the EA side,
confidence.
net saying I'm not being contested anywhere. Let's try to see here because of that early Aldrone, because we heard the blade storm. There's a potential lean towards B. So all the rotate comes in from M80, and that's a nice little flash that came through from Koala.
Yeah, we got 7
just
ults.
to
This is gonna get
counteract
crazy.
the setup that 2G was
Whoa.
about to do here with their ults.
Oh, I like this
Oh,
though.
quality.
Dude, look how aggro they're going. So yeah, literally just after the timeout, instead of aggro A, we're just going aggro B, back to back.
Silence, that is
I think
down.
it's the
So their
same
ability
thing
to get
from
deep on
the
towards
from
site has now
yesterday
been
after the
limited
O2.
pretty dramatically.
The-
other side
Just
of that,
taking
though,
Joe's
is that's-
getting-
that's
Take it,
your
do
only
his
sub
thing.
player if you're M80, so they're likely going to have to play off of some pretty raw contact here, you'd think. And they're going to try to maybe pop flash something over through mid. Poison Cloud is up.
Oh,
They're
he's
going to push
dead.
through this timing.
I like the
Not gonna
double
work
flash
out
though.
right.
They
He's
get
gonna
so
the
much
read and stay
info
safe
from
away
that.
from it.
Yeah, with the
double
info
flash
for
too,
at
and that's
least
gonna
2
pull
people
the pivot,
middle.
especially with the knife being thrown towards yellow. B side is now out in
This is
the
gonna be
open
weird.
for 2G
Wait,
to take.
did they
But this is gonna be an
both
exchange
pop
of
the
They-
balls
ult
here.
at
yeah.
exactly
No
the same
commands are gonna come
time?
in from both sides.
Nismo
Eventually, when
reacted
that
to
ends,
it.
There's
Oh,
a
okay.
pit that should come up from Luis,
Yeah.
which would activate the thrash,
Well-
which would activate the Hunter's Fury. We'll see what happens now.
Yeah, the Null Command actually pushes him back pretty convincingly, so a Viper's Pit is kind of out of the picture now for Luis. Maybe there's one encounter here for the defense to try to play it off retake. Luis stepping forward! What in the heavens? He just
Oh,
steps
man,
right
Wingman
past Yellow.
might win
Hunter's
this
Fury
one.
Maybe allows him some isolation, takes a couple with him. Brizzy trying to deny the Wingman who's getting nowhere
Yeah,
again. Oh,
that's a
big
Wingman
business
diff right there.
hours
Lovely
for
shots from
BCJ,
BCJ also.
and the Wingman, the diffuse
Huge
comes
round to
through
win.
and
How many
M80
ults
continue
did
to
they
put
use?
together some score.
KO.
And that
KO and
slight pause
Sova?
gives a
Was
chance
there
for
another
M80
ult that I
to
missed?
recollect how they
It
can
was
win
KO and
this war of
Sova
attrition between
for
the ultimates,
KO
because
and
I've
Gecko
mentioned
from
that,
M80.
that thrash
a
that's
2
being
for
pulled
2.
out, by BCJ activates the Hunter's Fury, which would then cancel
The
thrash.
timing on the
But then that
Wingman was
allows for you to
perfect
get a
too,
null command out
He
there.
waited
for the
If you
ult.
actually want to bring it to
Yeah,
your
he just
side,
waited for
M80,
the last
if
beam
it
on the
gets to that
spike and
moment
through.
where you're not able to
Slimy
win
Beast
that
with the
aggressive
prime.
fight
Thank you
here
so
back
much.
towards control of yellow, back towards the control of B main. And thankfully,
Yeah, I
here
mean
on
to
that
say
2
that,
versus
chat. I'm
2
not
make
bitter.
that even a
If
3
Wingman
versus
does
2
something
because
good,
they had
I'll shout him
Flash
out.
on top of that
Don't
for
worry about
M80
that.
to throw and stick the defuse that the last 2
If
players
he's
here,
out here
BCG
just
and
planting
Net,
and everyone's
can
cheering
just
for
set
him,
the pendulum swings for the trades and
I'll
for
be
the
flaming
victory
him.
in the round, and
Let's
immediately
just
we
hope
go
M80
into a tech
doesn't bring
pause.
up again against
M80 trying to
Diego.
stir up the crowd just a
At
touch.
least the
Smiles
outlaw.
all around.
Big time hater.
It's been a heck of a start. Exactly what the
Professional
doctor
hater.
ordered. I'll tell you that much in terms
There you
of
go, Weber.
prescribing the remedy
This is your fault.
for all the faults that happened in map number 1. I hate to say it, but it was a pretty embarrassing feat as 2G was just all over it. So this tech pause
I have a question
maybe
for
slows down
Sideshow.
the momentum in the game.
Here we go.
M80's trying to stir up whatever they can.
If Wingman was a
crowd Monterey.
Pokemon, which Pokemon would he be?
Stirring the pot, at least on the defensive side, is actually something that M80 is doing quite
Talking
well
about
so
what
far.
type or
And how aggressive they were on stacks
Or
on the A
one is
side
he
for the
closest
pistol
to?
round. And then, again, since this pause that came through from 2G, the timeout that
I
was
meant
called
like
2 rounds ago,
which
there's
one
been a
he's
lot more
closer
lean
to,
from
but
2G to try to
I'd love to
explore
hear the
this B
type
side
too.
to see if they could
Then
overtake that.
electric.
But what has
'Cause he's
M80
yellow.
been doing? One
think
was
that
a
makes
counter
sense.
flash into
Yeah, makes sense.
the ults are about to get set up here for,
That's the test,
for
I
a
think.
2 game to take.
That's
And
why
the
he's so good at
second round
Pokemon.
is such an aggressive TP coming in
Proven.
from Kualinu back towards the main, the garage, where that's for sure going to get hurt. And you saw Spike was ready for it. He had the crosshair placement. You just had to win your duel, but that's just a high-risk, high-reward play there by Kualinu that ends up being
He's
a
like
key
Pikachu
factor
that got
because
pushed
it
too
goes
hard
into
into
that
the
duelist
ball.
versus duelist matchup that
That's
Kualinu
crazy.
won, playing as an Omen this
Bug
time
type,
around.
yeah, bug
It makes it a
electric.
lot harder here
On board
for
with that.
2G to really create that space. Because remember, White was mentioned at the desk. One thing that Spike was doing very well here on the side of 2G is paw flashing through the alternating smokes that was being thrown by Xander and by Koala Noob so that Silence could actually gain that space that was needed. But he's down,
Electric?
which then means those,
Yeah,
those
when he
one-way
slaps,
smokes
what
are
is
gonna be
that?
so hard to deal with in the long run.
There's got to be
Oh,
some
big
kind of
time.
electricity, man.
You know, the other part about that last round
Because
is
yellow?
how important
That-
is the
that
fact
also,
both
man. We've
commands
got
that
two
get
things going.
exchanged Put the Vipers put out of commission, because I think 2 Game are literally thinking
That's the
hey,
Thunder Wave.
we can at least trade out things over towards A. We avoid the play through mid. Maybe there's a chance, or pardon me, towards B. You then have a chance maybe get the spike down with the ability to Vipers pit it, especially with no smokes, no paranoias. Like it gives you a little bit more post-plant security, but not allowed because of the timing of the null command. So coming off this tech pause should be interesting, I think, just to see how 2 Game adjust, because M80, similarly so to what they faced in map number 1, have now created multiple issues for this 2 Game offense to have to consider. At the get-go, are we going to get pushed at? We have to spend something, usually a knife, maybe even a recon.
Damn, you lot are really
We have to
passionate
make sure
about
we're
this.
staying
That's
safe
we
when the
see what you've
barriers
done
drop.
to chat.
But
They're
then
going
beyond
crazy.
that, we're already limited in terms
Yeah,
of
I'm
what we have in
seeing
terms
this.
of executable
But it's the
utility,
perfect
especially in the
feel
face
for
of
the
M80's resilient
tech
True,
pause.
defensive
man.
presence
Everyone
with
thinks
this
they're a
hub.
Pokemon master.
How
It's
do we
crazy.
get this plant down and then set up a good post plant? Because that's been, I think, the biggest question
The
for
tech
2
pause
Game,
is normal.
In their offense and their region.
Honestly,
They've
In
been
this
better at it
tournament,
here
yeah.
at this particular event, but it still seems to be kind of a question for them, especially in this matchup here today.
Yeah, especially for M80, it almost looks like when you're looking at how the state of these rounds have been going through, that M80 seems to be wanting to play
Because we are?
retakes, right? But it's
Damn.
not necessarily
Man,
the case.
chat,
It's
I
just
reckon if
you're
Pokemon
weak
had
side on
ranked,
one end
the
because
average
you
rank
actually
of
wanna
you lot
add
would
more
be
pressure
like
towards
plat.
another. So despite Kualinu TPing towards B main,
I mean,
you
you
still
guys are
saw it
crazy
in the
out here.
mid round, that double flash that came through
You're all
from
thinking
the
you're
Dizzy
radiant.
and the KO. So they do want to contest some areas here so that they could isolate really
Shaber,
2G
Shell
in these
Bay
post-plant
with the
scenarios.
tier 1. Thank you
And
for the 2
even in
months.
other
Thank you,
sides
thank
too,
you.
when you're fighting behind the Viper wall and 2G's about to activate, they're actually pushing in to fight back when they have the right amount of numbers here for M80
As
as
we
well.
get swept
It's not,
in
hey, let's
iron.
let them plant, we'll deny
Yo,
we'll
you
deny
can't
the
you
plant
can't be
with our
talking about
utility and
anything,
then
man.
just
I've
fight
seen the
back
smokes,
into
bro. Come
even
on.
gunfights.
You're
They
not
actually
allowed to
do
talk
just
about
want to
ranks.
fight before 2G has a chance to even set up if they're already there and ready to contest.
Well, we could break this down in a multitude of ways.
I'm the type to bring in Magic up for the Pokemon fight. I mean, how else is he meant to get
Wait
XP?
for the pause to lift. And I think just generally, you know, this doesn't really necessarily favor.
Put him in
or,
to tank the hits
I
and
think,
then put
hurt
someone
anyone
else
in
in.
particular. They're used to it at this point. It's been an event that has seen many tech pauses. So
Rare candies, bro. I
this
ain't
isn't
farming all
anything
of that,
new.
man.
So I'm sure.
I know you're out here using all the
like, hey,
cheats
when
so
this
you get all the rare
happens,
candies.
You know, hey, let's just try to keep our cool. You saw, I think, on one side, I think we were trying to stir up the crowd, keep the energy going. On their side, where on the other point, 2G, deep breaths, small meditative moments, just trying to keep cool and know that this map is far from over, even though the start hasn't been anything particularly graceful for them compared to the last map.
100%. And for M80 to hype up the crowd and being in this
Me
position
and
where
Sideshow,
again this
me and Sideshow should we should do
such
like
an
a
important
we should
game
do like a
for M80
1v1 on
that
5
if they
different
lose
games.
this
I just don't know
one
what the
against
games are.
2G, that's another year of work that goes down the drain to not be able to ascend here to partnership, and that is going to sting a lot more. Usually this is going to give a lot of pressure right now for a team like M80, especially when you got this mantle there on that first map. When you look back at how things started,
I reckon he cooked me at chess.
They actually won their first map 13-11 and then ended up losing,
chess, Pokemon Showdown, Valorant,
1-3
CSGO,
over the
and
guard that
TF2.
ascended the guard into
Bruh, I'm not
partnership.
playing
This time
TF2,
around,
man. I know that's your game. We'll take out TF2 and we'll take out CSGO. Get 2 other random games in.
What to do in these scenarios. They know how to fight from behind. They've already had the experience of fighting from behind, just like they did against All Night yesterday. Again, when it was a 2-0 lead in terms of a series for All Nights that M80 was able to turn back in their favor. For 2G, though, this is the first time that they're making it to the grand final stage.
Overwatch on 100. Dude, I heard you're the Worms master. Actually heard you're the Worms master. Minnie was telling me about it. What a chance.
13-5 scoreline on Sunset. That gives you a lot of confidence.
There's a world I could take you on Overwatch. It depends how much the game's changed.
We had 3 different opportunities that we made through to this moment.
But I imagine you probably have 1,000 hours more than me.
So let's just make sure it doesn't go to waste. And
about 10,000 hours more watched.
That opportunity in the first map of this series. This time around, I still think that it's a little bit too early on Icebox for them to decide if it's like, oh crap, we're running out of ideas, because they have been, again, pressuring the A side a lot more at the very beginning, and now only just starting to prod towards B. That said, if you're able to muster a little bit up here, muster a little bit of rounds coming in on your attack side to even 3 or 4, you're still going to be looking pretty comfortably here on your defensive side, because you could put a lot of responsibility onto Silence again, as does Jet, where you could lock down that one side of the map. And
bro, I can't even remember how the scoring system in Flappy Bird works.
Though, I think that's the biggest part about it, right? Like
100%.
Dude, I fully forgot about that game.
One of the reasons that, you know, again, this 2-game esports squad was able to best M80 last time around. I mean, it was an unbelievable individual performance from Silence. On the offensive side, he was finding value, getting deep towards the sites. But yeah, defensively, the operator in hand, he wasn't missing. 7, I think, or 8 kills that he was able to put together of his 25 total. So good stuff there in terms of what you could trust. Now, again, the other part about this is, hey, if you're 2G, you're on a bit of a limited time.
Sideshow would beat me at GeoGuessr. Yeah, the dude goes outside. He has a giant advantage.
Put something together to start creating some new trends and patterns that M80 will have to deal with, because once again, we're getting aggressive. This time it's down middle, and Nismo will find one through Tube, leaving the Viper's Pit and Net and the Killjoy to deal with the rest of the hit coming over towards A.
I was just about to say, how did
Thank you, Blob.
sneak through?
Sander is in a lot of trouble, is he not?
On the defensive side for M80, they're rapping from behind, but there's still players there from M80, so that's gonna stop.
Wow, nice shot.
Oh, nice shot.
Shenanigans coming out until this happens, though.
Silence, a little hardcore on top of 410.
That's a W, no?
I respect that. Xam's held very strong here. I like the fact that the rest of his team just heavy flooded before they could actually try and get round to back the site.
And of course, with that, now they hold advantage over the top of the spike, which has been
left. I think 2G will be happy they got
there it is in the picture.
KJ
Viper has also been reaffirmed as a major defensive threat.
And Viper too.
Right now, at least for 2G, though, they've done a great job doing this econ damage in this half buy that they've brought. Zap again with another hero rifle coming through, but they've expended 2 ults on the defensive side to try to win this round.
Oh, Zender's fine.
Quite good for 2G in the long run of this half.
This guy, he's playing great.
He's playing great today.
He's really, really on it.
Not this time.
Not this time. But you're right. I mean, again, it's, you know, in terms of the weaponry, the economy is not going to be hampered too much. Just simply due to the fact that, again, everyone was over about 3-4K.
Tactical pause. Like again, just to remind people, you can't talk in the tech pause, so that's why that's why you get the tactical into the tech.
We'll talk about it, knowing that
tech into the tactical
right here
a lot of the time.
Could set this whole second quarter of this half into motion.
But I think M80 wins today.
And now there's already another tactical.
I don't think the map
so
pool is great for them.
If I'm not mistaken, this is their second and only.
So I'm kind of thinking 2G
so they're gonna use
favorites.
this right now, and I think it's just an opportunity for them to. Because
I think Haven's going to be close.
Used the lockdown, and they've used
the M80 should win this map. They should win Abyss.
There's an opportunity for us now to work around
And then
that
it all
map a
comes
little
down
bit
to
more.
Haven because
I
they
think
should
there's-
lose bind.
This is a timeout that's being called here by
I don't think that
Yeah,
Haven's
that's,
great.
that says, hey, in
That's
these
a
5-on-5
fair way of
scenarios
looking
where we
at
finally
it.
have economy to work with, and especially that Luis was able to sneak through down towards middle, there's an opportunity for us to default here and really pull these rotates out and maybe win the round. Now for
Bind is
2G.
map
And
5.
that for me also shows for 2G that they're putting a lot of confidence in winning the defensive side. So
When
you're
was the
just
last time that
trying to
M80
scrap
actually
this
played bind?
third or fourth round, maybe even
M80
fifth round
only
if you get
played
here on
bind
your attack
once
side,
in 2
and you
years
should
that
still
the
be
org
sitting comfortably for
exists.
2 games.
Well,
Okay.
It was
I don't know if we can lay out
Ascension
any
conditions here, Van
finals
Silly.
last
We've
year
Yeah.
against
covered it
the
all.
guard, and
Feels
it was
like,
a 14-12.
yeah.
Attack pause
Oh,
will wrap,
that's-
and we will jump back into round 10. Again, a key one here. Offensive lockdown at the ready. Offensive Viper's pit at the ready. Those two
I
in
thought you were
combination.
gonna-
M80
I thought
haven't
you were gonna say
banning
something crazy.
bind
Feel
for
like it
2
should just
years.
be
They
a
never
round
banned
winner.
another map.
But
They only
what
banned
does M80
bind
have in store for
ever
us over
since the
towards
start.
B?
All
Double
matches.
stack up inside the cubby. Dark cover to block part of this angle. The only
I
question will
mean,
be,
they would have known it was
does
going to get
2G
played,
even
so we
bother
could have
with
some
this
good
play
ante.
through green, and they're going to use an owl drone instead. So these players
14-12
will
against
have to
God,
get rid of
respectable.
their
Dude,
presence
for
at
your
least for now.
permaban, that's...
Yeah, and it gets shot
I would
quite
say,
early
yeah.
too, where the
Say
Alto
it's
didn't give a
impressive.
chance to look into the
Okay,
cubby.
did they
So
both
right
get
now
hit by
for
the
M80,
knife?
they reinsert Quality
They're
in
happy
that
with that
spot.
pressure,
But
now they're
with the
going to go
knife that
insta
only
over
spotted
towards A.
BCJ in the very beginning, that is the call
Most
now
likely they
for
probably
2G
use
to
Killjoy out
maybe
here, but
think that
then
M80 are
where's
playing
the
a little bit
KO?
more
Oh, the KO is
anchored
really
up
far
towards
away,
the B
so
side.
there's nothing
Yeah.
to stop this Killjoy.
There's also the ability here, if M80 do give up on this presence through green, yeah, they can use
Aku,
the
thank you so much,
They
man. Appreciate the
see
4
it.
months.
Whoa.
Thank you for the prime.
That's an important setup in terms of knowing that the hit is on the way. Lockdown
Okay,
will be
rotate.
spent
1, 2,
first.
3.
2G will
Everyone's
use
going
this
here.
to
We get a
plant. Viper's
smoke
Pit, you would assume,
in
would come
on the right,
afterwards.
one way.
Try to get themselves some advantage on the post plant setup. There it is. Viper's Pit placed.
Knife
Nano
doesn't
Swarm
massively
doing a little
make
bit of chip
sense.
damage, not a ton, but a little. And that will be enough now for the retake. Start coming through.
That
Good
is
reveal.
one hell of a
Timing
recon.
of the recon vault is chef's kiss. Koala trying to work his way on the backside of the pit. Him and Koala Noob doing this without any flashes. One smoke available. Pardon me? Does he get it more?
Yeah, it turns out the
He's
Viper
looking
knows
for
where
it.
people like to
Koala
hide in the
Noob
Viper
turns
roll.
that into a second. Luis back in the
Almost.
side, not going to get seen, and 2G will take the round.
And now we're seeing a lot of value coming out from the IGL Zap, not only in the fragging department, but into the utility as well. You talked about
That
the
cost him.
beautiful
I mean,
timing, too, that came through.
most people hug walls,
3
right, in
players
Viper
trying to
ults.
flood back
They
in.
hug walls or
Another
they
one of
hug
those
that
moments
edge of the
where
ult,
M80
so...
wanted to continue to dictate
Not the
pace
craziest for
where
him to
they
spam.
don't want to give a chance
Zap
here
is
for 2G to
playing
set up as soon as the
so,
spike gets
so,
spotted.
so
No
well.
utilities coming
I feel
through.
like
I
every
feel like
round
even for the
that they
defensive
win
retake,
is
they
just
just
something
wanted
to do with
drop
him.
inside the pit all the way back towards Dice and fight back against 2G. But that puts a wrench in the plans for sure. And that timeout becomes a nice conversion for 2G. Yep. Although they expended 2 of their
Ooh, this
ults
time
for that
didn't
one
get it.
too, and now BCJ
They weren't able
has
to
a
actually
crack
shoot
of
the
his own
knife,
here for
so
them to play with
they
on
might
the
just
defensive side for
insta-react and
M80.
probably just
Deeper
insta-pulls
knife
back.
thrown this time for 2G towards A. They do
Where's
scout
his
out
smoke?
2 players. Quality, most
Default?
importantly, with the operator in hand. 2G are stepping away from it. Whether they know he's got the op or not is outside of the picture.
That's a
Defensive
giant
That's
knife
gonna
as well. That
reveal
hits
just
4.
about everything. So that's enough for
It
his
hit
mo to
everyone but
say,
the guy
I need
back
some
in
help, here,
yellow,
boys.
so they
And
don't know.
more
That's why they're still
importantly,
kind of looking
not
for
only is
one
gonna
over
get
towards
some good
middle.
help, he's gonna get a
Yeah.
little bit of alert through net, and
They
maybe able to
insert
hear a
net
cross
on the
rotation
corner
back
to
A.
watch the rotations.
This is important here for Net not to overextend though, because he dies. That's a full ace.
He is so good right now. He doesn't lose angels.
For 2G. All of M80 were focused here to just fight back towards the B main. You needed that player to just stay alive and just to watch the cross back towards A. Now, yes, despite them booking it towards the A side, there's still only
This
one
knife
player,
might
but it's
really
still
help.
Nismo.
Yeah,
He's
this
been
knife-
on fire
Yeah,
at this
that's
point before.
solid info.
Really good from this knife to reveal 3. There's a moment of concern.
Dude, I can't believe they
because
didn't
of the delayed
rotate from this
nature of
M80.
hit, that there may be a reroute back to B.
Oh, he did a lot of damage there.
30 seconds almost combines the damage out of the rifle to secure an elimination, but it's Xander through mid. Deal with the lurk of Zap in the first place. Nismo
Ooh,
goes 1
what a
for
shot.
1. BCJ has the thrash on the field. That's going to detain. On the hunt is Xander. Finds his 3rd in the round. Looking for 4. but
26
Spike
HP.
is doing the same.
Home should
He's
come
gonna
in.
be able to
Yeah,
get
they
this
do.
down.
Koala switches to the
Paranoid's
rifle.
gonna cut across, but he doesn't care if he's near
Nice.
side of the defense
Very
corner.
nice on this
Finds
one.
a difference.
And that was impressive, though. That shot from
Sees the
Xander was
spike down,
outrageous.
Spams him through the boxes, and M80 will get their 8.
Nismo
The-
did really good on site, to be honest.
The Nismo
To
knives.
nade,
The
get him
first
2
knife
down
going towards
half and
B
get the
main,
kill back
it
site.
actually does hit Luis.
And
It
both
nullifies
knives he
the
used
wall. They
but,
can't pull it off.
on
Four
yellow,
3.
and Koala
and
Noob
then-
to set up a defensive
yeah,
line.
exactly.
Another smoke being thrown towards yellow. And then when Net dies. Nismo gets a second knife that detains 3 players, or not detains, but disables 3 players where they can't use util on a hit. which then gives enough chance here, enough time for M80 to come back and fight, especially when those 3 guys are hit by the knife. You're starting to feel like you have to activate towards middle. It gives a chance there for Xander to win his 1v1 at that spot. For Quality to close it in. M80 now in the lead by 5. And 2G, last round here of the half. Release has 2 ults and rifles, a couple of rifles to work with, and they want to go quick towards this B main.
I need to right-click the flash there. I didn't like the decision making here.
Updrafting away, Quality's in trouble. Oh, the aim is scattering on both sides, but Spikes will save the day. Again, this is a bit of an eco here from 2G, and they're finding extreme value. Just down to Xander.
Spike planted.
It's a 1v4
without the rifles.
He's got himself a very tricky spot.
What happened?
He's stuck in
I mean, they wanted to
corner.
fight
There's
over
no
towards
way
B.
He gets a go at this.
But I think Nismo,
have to, it's the
either
last
the
round.
comms were wrong
And I
that
think 2G
someone,
knows here
that he
that
thought
Xander
someone was going to shoot the
to what
drone.
he's done to
Because if
the
he's going to get tagged by the drone here,
Glorious,
he's got to
they do not
have a
want to
flash ready to
overextend.
right click.
So it just comes down to the protocols. As soon as he taps the spike, hello, 4 players to peek, 4 players to spam, and
It's not too
Pricey
bad.
to claim that kill.
Yeah.
Allowing here to narrow
Feels
the
like
gap
A
in the
is
first
a
half.
lot
Yeah,
on
and I also think both
defense.
teams, I think, are going to be pretty okay with the result of this first half. I think with how it starts,
Now
you
we
start
get
to
to
look at M80
see,
saying, all right,
because
right back into the mix. It
I think
feels a lot like yesterday.
the anti from
On the other side, though,
2G
good
showed
stuff after
more
the pause for
on
2G,
M80's
kind of
attack.
shifting
Yeah,
some
that's
patterns
true.
and trends at the end of the half towards their favor. And being able to salvage
Yeah,
4
it was just
is
all the
not
Omen
worst
smoke
news in
stuff,
the
right?
world.
Omen smoke over
I
towards
think it would
B,
be
they had to
a little
set
bit
stuff.
of miss in terms of if you said, hey, 8-4 on your offensive half, are you okay with that? You know, maybe they would have liked more overall, especially considering how they played it the last time around. But considering how the half went, being able to still scrape together 4 is important, and now we can kind of reset the energy going into the second half.
I don't know if Silence was able to get 2 openers with a Blade Storm while he was getting gooped too. That was pretty crazy how things opened up. It went from that to what, a Spectre double kill in order for this round to be converted for 2G, where they had 3 rifles around that and 2 other ults. None of them needed to be used pretty much on the openers, and that change of tempo coming out from 2G, I guess, kind of surprised M80 here. And again, those tactical timeouts coming out on the defense, or what was on the attack side, sorry, for 2G, was just to try to salvage a couple of these rounds on the attack. They have nothing left outside of this halftime that seems to be
David, hello, mate.
fully taken advantage of now by FaithZor.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Well, looking at just kind of how this map has fared for both these 2 squads as we swap the sides, offensively, that was the favored side, really for both squads. But for the defensive M80, they have looked really, really solid. I think
Who's the
just
favorite
on
coming into this match?
particular event,
That's
which
honestly
is
a hard
great
one
news
to
for
say.
them in terms of
Because
how
before
you were
playoffs,
able
you say
to
M80.
obviously find 8 here. Now moving
Then
to an offensive side,
when
that
you get
was
to playoffs, you're probably
arguably one of
saying
the more
2G.
successful halves when they were playing in Americas in
Yeah,
particular for
that's
challengers.
about right.
And I think the thing about this is now for 2 game, you don't get the explosive start from Silence. So now you've got to try to find a way to receive all of this incoming executable utility from this M80 offense. So a lot of things kind of on the table here. Both teams have shown good success. So it all kicks off with this pistol, which have been 50-50 to this point. See if that stays the case.
I just love that M80 in this pistol.
2-1 for
still
the
wants to
pistols
brute
at the
force
moment.
B main. Knowing that last time around, again, we talked about the KO pop flash.
M80
fighting
go
against
for the
util
same
being
pistol they
utilized
did
by
last
M80,
time these
and
2
that was
teams played,
activated
but
from
instead
BCG
of doing
throwing
the
it dizzy.
smoke, they just wore
This time they're
contact,
just
because that
walking
was their
through.
tell.
Look at this nano sword. Aggressively placed over towards yellow. Trying to keep this
2G had a lot of early info on A.
Be activated. Net going to find the initial trade, and Price takes a ton of damage through the poison screen. So that'll be a spike plant, 4v4, and M80 will have all this, well, I would say you usually have all this post-plant utility, but they spent just about everything they had to get the execute. Now it's just down to who hits their shots.
Yeah, at least on 2G's end, they have util to retake this. Silence of the Sheriff, shot darts that's going to come through.
Follow up though, after the night fades. Now
What
it's
an
down to,
absolute
again, if you can hit your
shot.
shots. M80 in a little bit of trouble here. But a flank from Koala. Newbie gets
Nah,
spread,
is
and
that
Zach will
again?
put it out of the picture as a
Of course
4v4
again, man.
post plant. And it will only be a 3-for-1 exchange.
Another
was a
1-1
shot.
pistol.
Good stuff
Yeah,
here from
it's
2G,
2-2
and a
for the
critical
pistols.
pistol goes their way,
1-1
bring
every
the
map.
deficit back to just within 3.
And the ballsiness from M80
Have a game?
to just
Oh, for
walk
sure.
contact at the
Yeah,
very
I mean,
beginning,
dude
and as soon
dude
as they're
was
about to cross
hit a
the line
great
where maybe
shot here.
somebody could
Just
be
straight up
watching
flick towards yellow.
default, they throw the knife towards
He's
yellow,
trying to shoot
and
the
that
guy
was
on
perfect
higher.
because it actually did hit the KG at the same time on the defensive side, which didn't give him a chance here
Maybe we
to
get to
activate
see
this nanostorm right at yellow that he called was going to be a great
just
thing
happened
there
before this.
to help the defensive end, the Viper on that side to hold his angle. But it becomes a beautiful retake towards the end. Over swings coming out from M80 just because they were getting flooded by utility and players running through. And it just got caught. You just had to win your duels at that point. And it's 2G that White mentioned before. Plethora of agents that can play, and they have great firepower.
Yeah, double flash combo.
Snakebite just gonna get ran through. Lots of decay. Wingman denied from finding a plant though, so now M80 are a bit stuck right up.
We now know that Wingman makes a different sound when he's running with the spike than when he isn't.
So aggressive.
Out to Ivy.
I mean, wow. Absolute domination. He's not done yet. Oh, maybe he is. Nisbo puts him out of commission plus an extra, so decent here in terms of being able to limit the strength of the bonus coming up next, but
I'd be so tempted to just run B and try to get the orb.
We'll bring this to within 2.
We'll take that, right? Just licking your wounds, 12 HP remaining, get 2 kills. Just trying to move it through for a plant, but that's how it's nicely readjusted here by 2G. A poison orb right by the
Pacific Ascension, yeah, I'll do some of it tomorrow. I'm not doing the first game, it's way too
all of them
early.
were being decayed and vulnerable at the same time. They had almost no HP to work with.
But I should be here for the second or third game, depending on the time.
I'll
at least be there for the third game,
100%. Find the timing to say, hey, let's try to hit this at a certain time.
Second game, that's a maybe.
Doesn't allow M80 to go.
I'll set my alarm for 6 AM and we'll see what happens.
Anti-ego conversion
for
2G, and now an opportunity to bring some strong weapons into their bonus round. Because
sleeping these days. I mean, that was the plan in the off season.
Going into that one,
there was, yeah.
Where I would give it to Silence so he could watch it here at the long range.
Yeah, they had a Guardian and a Bulldog, and that's what they'll bring forward. There was a Spectre in the mix, but that will not be collected. Instead, it's going to be Silence on the Marshall. Okay.
Good
Of Heaven to deny the orb, it will give it to the Bastion and did the damage.
I love this. Luis gets revealed. That knife doesn't necessarily mean he's playing forward. They know, of course, that there's going to be some sort of a stack, and that might be enough for M80 to say, let's not get crossed up by something strange.
Not a great bonus.
That should be enough
really.
for 2G to commit, saying either we push forward or we get out of
here. The damage that Nismo did is actually pretty huge.
At the same time.
There's a big test for Silence in this position now.
Oh, whips the opener. Dizzy keeps the angle free and clear for Net to take the dub. Little bro able to get the plant off, no worries. And the post-plant setup will be largely right on top of the
They know
site.
about this guy behind. He broke the
backside of the play could be critical.
I like this.
If
I like this play from Koala.
another angle of approach, but Net is watching it, and Net for a second.
Yeah, this is a cool play. I guess
is
normally when they do this after plant position as well, he's like not in the smoke, so he TP's into the smoke. It's cool.
It would have been unfortunate there that one time that he goes for a sidestep. That's when Luis peaks. It could have been the fight that Luis could have won there, but thankfully he stops that from happening. All right, we got a little bit of love here. There's Sabrosa. Send you guys in. But overall, Elise and Black Light Flawless going in the second round. Back into the gun round that was invested here by M80, which is great because we talked about value that 2G were going to bring here with a Guardian, a Marshall, and a Bulldog. Yet going into how they executed towards the site, there was no opportunities here for 2G to really stop that flood to happen because
so not enough damage to M80 in the round before, so
that one knife, as you mentioned,
the money's
really
good. If they lose this, they can buy 2G.
But it gave numbers.
Not saying that the map's done on this, but
they didn't want any of that smoke there for M80.
Well, this is the first look at Silence on the operator. It was a key tool for 2G to use on their defensive side. Last they played M80.
Now they start to use the normal smoke.
Knife will not reveal him.
And again, they got two variations with this.
Get back to work here.
Everyone where the smoke goes a little bit deeper and they TP into it with a flash over.
Null command spent, and once
what an
more,
absolute shot. Back-to-back entries at the moment.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was fast.
Out of the water should be a free plant, and 2G need to decide how they want to try to approach this.
That was a rare, especially when he's an null command. He pulses when he's going to be coming, yet still gets that win against Silence. That's a huge kill to start.
And here we go. Now the retake on the way.
Oh, and they want to fight. Wall up. Everyone goes to danger.
Over towards mid. That's going to keep Net a bit more interested. Flash.
Yeah, he tanked it. They both tanked it.
2G. If they don't commit here or find a pick, they may have to back off.
Oh, nice shots from Xander. He won double duel here.
Down to Zap, who will prefer to at least try to find a way to save this Vandal, but there is possible threat. Net on the corner. Timing doesn't work out for the peak, and Zap will get out of there.
For now.
I did
Still
really
heading
need to
towards
save his
the
gun.
ramp, and Net just went for the peak, and yeah, it seems that it might be a moment there that Zap will be able to save his weapon after all, but that opener was everything to kick things off there, courtesy of Nismo. Once again, activating very early into a null command on the attack side. And again, reiterating how much value he's gotten on the attack side for Nismo as this KO. And usually you want to give it to Koalanu being the one that's going to open things up, but he's playing an Omen. So a lot of that responsibility is going to have to be on Nismo pushing forward here with the team. And also leveraging this composition maybe as to why you're playing this no duelist. Because
yeah, they keep the save gun, and
to go for the
an
plant.
outlaw would be really good here,
down to that. So he's going to be the tip of the spear, opening things up and creating that space so that M80 could fight.
Aggressive setup coming over for the defense. It's just on pistol upgrades.
Yeah, and they play aggro, and that's a gun to pick up.
Almost a chance for a trade, but Spike is able to stay alive, if only just barely. Luis holding one corner, the hero rifle in Zap's hands. Still watching for a cross down to the ropes, and he does see Koalanu, but cannot connect for a secondary elimination. So M80 will back off and try to restructure.
Yeah, they're going to try to get the gun out of here.
One of those moments where the one-way smoke being thrown in the attack kind of bites them for M80, because that was just to prevent a push coming out from the short side of orb, because they know that 2G's on the lower buy. Yet you saw Spike
2G's close to some outside. I wonder if they
get
tempted as well.
Overall is like very likely here.
Recon dart off the defense. Xander goes high.
Yeah, the Viper's no one after that.
Again.
Stuck in the corner. Zap does well. Spike, we know what he can do with his pistol in hand. He's able to turn this into another at low HP, but Zap isolated, can't do anything more. Just down to prize.
Zap did it again.
Doable. Yeah, made it super doable, man.
A lot of low health pools though. Net in particular, just about a shot away. The drop down
What a
doesn't
round from
work
Net.
out. Silence. What's the call?
The guys on 2G here went very individual.
Tries to go into the corner. Net immediately below him. But Silence doesn't know if there's been some sort of a backup, so he'll re-clear the backside of the site. That gives away his position.
That is kind of nice, right?
Trying to see if
I never saw this.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Ever. It's pretty cool.
Take us to 11.
Beautiful round there by Net to kick things off too and save that round for M80, because Spike was looking dangerous with that Sheriff just around the 410. Continuing some great shots in that area. And dropping two players, and even a flash came through.
They for sure could have played the turn too better. That guy really sent
just
it.
Readapt and refocus and get those picks and a 4K into the round. It almost looked like you talked about the position that they had on that 2 versus 1.
Yeah, and they should also know that I think Nat was one shot, 30 HP, 40 HP, something like that.
Yeah, really win that 1 versus 2.
Yeah, Com's gonna come in for sure.
He went for a different type of path.
Okay, Molly goes to Murder in case there is a wall, in case there is turret there, as we can see it's over towards.
Tried for something cheeky to get over towards the top side of 410. It gets read perfectly.
It's for a kitchen, I think.
Yeah.
Making sure there's no follow-up. Aldrun will clear the space, at least most of it. Doesn't fully get in to check.
They're in a pretty good spot to win a lot of rounds here.
Holding.
All the best ults you could want. Maybe you could argue Killjoy. This is a big jewel to be right now. They're lovely. That is definitely not needed by the Viper. But the early info here, why on earth we aren't open?
I'll never get it. Never, ever.
Reveals that Net's here, and a couple of shots
Yeah,
will
just
push
gave him
him back
away
off
in.
the angle. Now the lockdown will open up the site for M80.
Great play by Net. I was almost scared of that moment because he was running with his knife out, but it was only to jump peek, and that actually forced the shot out of Pricey, and also forced you to.
Oh, they messed up this round.
He tried to go for a hero play, didn't work out, and it seems
don't
to be
need,
the
I
round
was going
for
to say, you
M80
don't even
towards
need to
the
use
end.
that.
And that's the call to don't pull out your pit yet. We have a Thrash on top of that. Don't deny visibility. But again, just to get back to what Net was doing, he forced out that utility off the jump peak. Pricey didn't have anything left, rather, to hold that push. And then
yeah, dude, that gave me some kind of flashbacks to remember FPX, like
and for even Pricey to swing out because he was gonna get the
Shanghai,
no matter what,
maybe
if he was gonna
when it was like Berlin giving them
so he
all of the
tried to go
kills.
for the hero play to drop that
like
spike and give
in a
chance here for
4v5.
Zap, and
Had to be called too.
That's just what it felt like, man. Just walking out into the open.
But they say no. Let me see if I can get the spike carrier down before that lockdown becomes a.
Was it Madrid? Yeah, it was Madrid. You're right.
Call doesn't work out. Net on the hunt. We'll find one more, at least.
Just every single time they had an advantage, just taking a 1v1.
And like you mentioned, you still have things like the Thrash and the Viper's pick. So if you're looking at that from 2G, you got to be thinking we need an opening pick. We need to try to contest this spike before that execute can come through.
Yeah, you have to think on the fly pretty much too as the IGL for Zap, because those 2 timeouts were already used in the first half just to try to get your 4 rounds in the first half.
Okay, I mean, this map's
so now
look
you're
convincing.
looking at from the UI, you're like,
the,
oh crap,
the
they do
Nismo
have 2
thing
walls to
on
work with. What do we have on our side? Thankfully,
KO.
we still have that Hunter's Fury
He's
that,
got
from that previous round
good
from Zap.
record.
Activating is also Spike and Luis. And it starts things off with covering towards this B side, and I like this play with the alarm bot too. It allows your Luis
This is a nice play to do when you got Servo.
B side. And for them to converge a little bit more into a defensive hold towards middle between Pricey and Zap.
Yeah. Well, M80 looked like they want to just walk in and challenge this Viper's pit. Luis backs out, gets the integrity back to full, and M80 are still maybe considering. We'll spam
they go close to see if they could hear the alarm bot, maybe.
Work out, and now with 60 seconds on the clock, M80 are going to take the rest of the day.
Yeah, I think it's a good call here for M80, because if we tried to go for a Thrash, there's still that Hunter's Fury that can cancel it. So let's go for a pop towards the A side. Net's been inserted towards Pike.
And this is, they always do their smoke, though this pulse can't get an angle.
Play a hit and hope type situation, but instead backs away. Knives are exchanged. The offensive one will connect more than the defensive one will. But silence
Zap is fully aware of
this
Net.
corner. Net is going to say, come back my direction. But if he gets caught, if Prize sees
this is so weird right now.
that might be the end of the round. Omen's also going to teleport.
Oh, what a flash.
Flash on out. Prize
This is awesome info that they gave him. Yeah, and they had no idea about the Omen. Oh, how's that flash miss?
Offensively, BCJ going to get the plant off.
God, this is manic. There's so many things going on right now. This guy's going to have to just plant in the Viper ult.
Holds the line through 2. Has a chance for more. Maybe
Ned had a chance there, and no way. That shock is on his head. 5 seconds to finish the plant. Did someone send it?
Plant has to be held. Just barely beats the time. Luis trying to find some spam. Connect.
Oh my god, a double. Oh, not another 1v4.
Did he reload the short or not?
Inside of his Viper's pit with the Vandal. 1 snake bite remaining.
I'm not sure. It was 1 bullet though, right?
Goes. Zap, hit by it, maybe not fully. Shorty's back again.
Oh, he thinks the Molly hit.
And Xander, does he
Oh, it's unlucky. Molly just ever so slightly shallow.
Just missed as well, so that
yeah, if that Molly's a little bit deeper, I'm pretty sure he wins that. It was a great try from him.
And knowing him, I watched this guy too many. He doesn't spam with the rifle because it's a Vandal. If he had a Phantom, he would have spammed 100%. And he's gonna buy a Phantom now. Just watch it, we have a Phantom.
You reckon he body blocked it? The Molly? I think it just looked short, right?
I think it was short. It looked short.
He just threw it down to the floor. Unless it hit someone's foot, man, but...
could somehow win that 2 versus 1 versus Xander, who once again could have had a historic moment to clutch another 4 versus 1. But unfortunately, one
How did M80 lose that? Honestly, Zap just did insane again.
Forced his hand out, lost that fight to Luis.
They got the most important kill on Ned, and then the shock to get the planner.
Yeah, and with this tactical pause called by M80,
and then the recon as well kind of helped. But
for the coaching staff of 2G.
It at least meant that the other guy who would have been Koala was going to swing through that. They got to isolate the guy that's solo.
Into possible overtime with a couple of massive ultimates now off the table for M80. So yeah, the timeout feels
yeah,
a
he had
little
his
bit
chance
warranted
there. I
for
agree.
M80 talking about, okay, how do we get this done?
I found it so weird that Net had a chance because the KO was down, right? So he should know that Net was swinging.
Yeah.
And Zap was, he had a shock in hand, I think, or a dart.
2G, not fully healthy on
Pretty
this
weird.
purchase. A couple of light armors. Operator still purchased. Wall of Noob just teleporting all over the map. And Prize will respect this. A couple of pings, you see them on the map, mean that the defense are aware that this could possibly
be even if you expect it, it just means that this guy gets isolated. Okay, so they're trying to collapse on mid in reaction.
Turns it in favor of M80 for the first.
And Prize, he's now pinched, so he has to give up the site. He has no choice. Just all of that TP coming out from Koala, who just thinned out the
smoke to
defensive
save him as well. And this should be it. This is really hard to lose. Crazy hard to lose this round.
3 Molly, 4 Mollies, Paranoia. Face shot again.
Also
Yeah,
with an operator.
this is hard.
Not going to feel good trying to retake with this.
And
top 2.
2G has
Make
nothing.
sure no one's still lingering inside this site, but M80 are happy to play this through yellow and green. Offensive wall goes back up.
What a nade. And he saw his gun barrel.
Sander is in the back line, but only gets one. Quality follows up for his trade.
Comes official again.
Silence still on the operator.
Nice.
Very nicely handled. Okay, honestly, kind of 2 dominant maps. I feel like Zap tried his best on this. He actually gave this a really good go, man. He played so well on this map. But yeah, it was just a diff like the first map.
It was basically pedal to the metal for M80 on executing on another